That sumbitch is tough as woodpecker lips.
The Southern Saturday Podcast.
Oh, well, come on, son. You couldn't whoop a pitcher of meat.
It's like giving your ears a big glass of sweet tea.
Come on, boy. Shit.
Drink up and enjoy.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Southern Saturday Podcast. I got a very special guest today, a buddy of mine and a local comedian, Mr. Zeke Buckhaults.
What's up?
What's up? That is his real last name.
If I was to choose a last name, it would be something easier to pronounce. I wouldn't fucking go.
But it's still a cool stage name.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah,
I feel like I've been thinking about changing it for if I ever get some kind of success.
Keep the Buck though, like Buckmeister.
That's what I was thinking.
Buckmeister.
Not Buckmeister. That's way fucking worse. Can I cuss on this, by the way?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, sorry. I already cussed twice.
No, of course you
I've realized recently I've started saying fuck an awful lot.
Like a comma?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I quit drinking and started saying fuck all the time.
Dude, speaking of quitting drinking, my wife has got me doing this today. It was day one of, it's called 75 Hard. It's some challenge.
You're going to be hard for 75 days straight?
Exactly. Pretty much.
It's probably great for y'all's relationship.
You're going to feel like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Dude, because you have to work out 2 times a day, 45 minutes a pop. You have to drink a gallon of water, no alcohol.
A gallon?
No cheat days for 75 straight days. So no...
Oh, so it doesn't have anything to do with your penis. It's just all...
No, but I mean, I imagine all the extra testosterone that you have, you'll just wake up with a teenage morning Woody.
You get extra testosterone from working out? I thought you were just kind of born with the testosterone you got.
No, you produce more whenever you definitely gets lower from not working out.
Damn. I feel like I know people that are very in shape that have low T.
Well, that can also be true.
I also
That's
just ask
bad
everybody.
luck.
Yeah. Okay. So it does have something to do with it, but also you can just be fucking in the wrong
I tell
place.
you what, I do notice, like, anytime that I go back to working out, like, as much as I already wanted to fuck, like, just take that up a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's definitely noticeable.
I've been working out, but I don't fucking work out hard. I work out I stretch for about 20 minutes.
Oh, so yoga, pretty much.
Well, no. Well, then I go and do but I'm so tight. I need to go to let me get your opinion on this. Should I just go to a masseuse regularly or should I go to a stretch place? Did you see that place called Stretch Lab? Shout out Stretch Lab. Give me some free shit, maybe.
Dude, is that system? So I watched some of those people on Snapchat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, first of all, why is this girl got to be naked for this? And dude, they'll find a knot in her back or something and go to stretching and pushing on it. And she'll just be going exactly. And you're just sitting there like, I don't know if this feels good or bad.
Sex sells. Is it like a chiropractor or is it like a stretcher?
No.
It's a stretcher.
So this is literally like a sports medicine.
Okay.
So
they have the stretch places where literally just somebody else stretches you for you. I saw they were doing a special.
This just sounds like the laziest thing I've ever heard.
Dude, I'm so bad at stretching. I broke my femur when I was in high school and everything stove up. And I've been tight since I was a pretty good athlete, but I would have been way better if I could have touched my toes at any point in my life. So my hips are all stove up. They're always hurting. I sit like this all the time. I'll be stretching before a show or something, and people are like, what the fuck is wrong with that guy? And I don't know if they actually think. But also, people have asked, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to be healthy, you fucking asshole.
Dude, I tell you what, I have become way more tight in the past, I'd say 7 or 8 years, to the point where I'm embarrassed of how much it is. I'll go to ride a foal or something in the woods, and I'll go to sit down on the seat and I'll be like, ow.
Yeah,
I'm
dude.
like, fuck, man. You're supposed to be able to at least sit Indian style. What's wrong with you?
I've never been good at it, man. Everything needs. I've been surfing a lot more recently, and everything just fucking. And I always feel sore, even if I haven't worked out. It's just no good.
Where do you surf?
Dolphin Island. It takes me 45
minutes.
Good? Sometimes. I mean, it's
You look for storms.
Look for storms. Fall and winter get pretty good. Winter is pretty good, honestly, but
it's probably miserable, huh? Cold wise.
You can wear a wetsuit. It's not bad.
I know, but I've never worn one. So, how much does that work?
A lot. You pee no. It's you pee in it and you're good to go.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just let it circulate.
They have some that are real thick that you can go in freezing water with.
I think I've seen some where and you might not have. You attach a battery pack to it and it's got little things that run all through it, and it's heating elements. So you turn it on and it heats your body as you swim.
I feel like anything electrical I wouldn't want to go in the water with.
Right, but battery maybe. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's outlet.
You ever licked a battery?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah. So maybe your whole thing's getting like that. I mean, I'm sure they couldn't
might
sell
help
it if
you
that was.
surf better. I mean, who knows?
Maybe it would. Maybe it stretches me. Maybe it's like those fucking things. I was gonna say on the drive out here. First of all, you guys have too many cars.
Yeah.
So does your 6-year-old drive, or do you have to have 4 or 5 cars when you live in Creole,
Every now and
Alabama?
then we wake up and one of the cars is gone and we go check his room and we're like, God damn it.
Yeah, he went on another goddamn beer run last
Yeah,
night.
exactly.
Did he sneak out again? This is crazy.
But dude, it's just like, so that truck of mine that's sitting out there, I've had since I was 21, and I bought the new truck. And at that point I still worked, and I was like, I'm gonna just take this shitty truck to work.
Yeah.
And now that I've quit my job, it's literally just sitting there.
Yeah.
So I need to sell it. And the other car, Courtney actually does use for work. Like the little.
What about the
black
SUV?
car. That's her, like, I'm bougie car.
Y'all, aren't you supposed to always drive a I'm bougie car? Isn't that the point of having a I'm
I
bougie
guess
car?
so. And like, so here's what happened. We bought the black car when she used to do home visits, so she had to drive all day for work from house to house to house to house to house. So she needed a beater car. And like, now that she just goes to the office and comes home, why not take the nice car?
Need a beater car. I haven't thought that. I just get a car that I can afford. That's why. Right now, I've been driving a car from 2005 for years and years. Actually, I think all of my cars have been from dead family members. So that's, I'm doing
That's
pretty.
how I got my first car.
Yeah.
It wasn't dead, but it was definitely a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
It was a 98 Jeep Wrangler. It had like asbestos in the ceiling. It was hanging.
yeah, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. It had a sunroof though.
I had a 96 Isuzu pickup truck from a dead uncle. That was my first one. And I would drive to school every day in it. And I played soccer. And there's some motherfuckers that were like made fun of my shit. They like took somebody out there and they like picked the shittiest car in the parking lot and they picked mine. I mean, of course they did. But I mean, also I loved it. I was like, I bet you can't drive stick, you motherfucker.
I liked my Grand Cherokee too.
Yeah, it's great. Something about old cars. It's good
Looking
stuff.
back now, I'm like, why was my brother's first car like way nicer than mine?
Probably wasn't a lined up situation where it's like somebody's
like
ready to get
they
rid
had
of
to
it.
actually buy his,
Yeah.
and mine was like, oh yeah, you got one, give it to me.
But on that point, though, if you actually have to buy, I would have bought. You probably would have got a shittier car if I was your parent, or he would have gotten a shittier car if I had to buy.
Well,
with
that's what
my
I was
money.
saying. I was like, why don't I just get the nicer one and we give him my shitty car?
Yeah,
That's what should have happened.
That's what should have
And they're
happened.
like, you can't get a present for his birthday. I'm like, I can't, but can I not?
damn. What's your brother's name?
Dylan,
Fuck you, Dylan. How old are you?
34.
Cool. I bet people are having a good time listening to this right
They
now.
are. They're having a blast. Every now and then I'll get caught like asking real life questions, and I'm like, we're gonna cut this. Like somebody else, on one podcast, like me and somebody are sitting there talking about like how Sarah Land's exploding.
Yeah.
And I was like, they don't want to fucking hear this. They don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
There's somebody in Pennsylvania like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Justin Stagner's blood type is AB
he's
negative. That's
34,
what-
and this guy right here's 30.
Hell yeah. Y'all been to an orthodontist before? Fuck
But
yeah.
yeah, hell yeah. You remember how they get your teeth in there?
Floss every day. Yeah. You should be.
Flossing's one of those things where I'm just so disappointed in myself. My wife flosses like a religious person. Like,
Yeah.
every fucking day.
Really?
She never misses it. And she'll literally say out loud, like, you need to floss. And I'm like, what's wrong? Who says that?
I say that to my wife. I fucking love the way that flossing feels. It's like a good hurt. It's like, but I don't do it every day. But when I miss it, I can tell, and my gums feel weird. And my wife, I'll say the same shit. I'd be like, you should floss. And she's like, floss? What the fuck? No.
Says these things.
Yeah. And she still gets good shit at
The
the
other day I
dentist.
asked her for a toothpick, and she's like, just go floss.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, no, I'm just smashing the food down then. I want it
you
out.
gotta do a scoop
I want it
scenario.
out.
You gotta scoop it around it, man. You gotta get you probably got the worst gums, man. When you get, I guess you're probably gonna have money when you're old, so you can just get new teeth.
Is that what I'm looking forward to?
I'm working 6 part-time jobs right now. You don't even have one, you motherfucker. And you're living next to people that have a pond with a fucking.
I don't think that's why I
with a
don't
duck.
floss though.
You're gonna get veneers and shit. Don't even fuck your teeth.
I don't
man.
think those ponds that are in here, I don't think those were planned. They all look accidental. They look like it flooded real bad, and they were like, fuck it.
I gotta keep my originals all my life, so I gotta take care of them.
That's what I want. I don't think my goal is to have new ones.
I think your goal is. I think that's the whole reason
It's
you're doing
not.
this.
Like, dude, my grandpa, he had false teeth like by the time I was born. Like
How old was he?
young enough to where you're like, this is a problem. Like, it's because he carried like juicy fruit gum with him everywhere he went, and
Oh,
just
yeah.
chewed packs and
This was
packs
back
of juicy
before
fruit gum.
people knew that sugar was bad for you.
Oh yeah, or they just didn't care.
No,
This
just
is back
kidding.
in
I
the
think
smoking in the waiting room of the hospital type.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I think
Which I wish still existed. Like, I told my wife, I was like, look, I wish that like when kids were born, it was the same as the old days. Like they just came out there and told me like, hey, you had a little boy. And I'm like, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for that.
He's like, hold on, I gotta get back to work. Hey, bitch, make sure the dishes are clean when I get home.
But I didn't have to, like, I was lucky enough to where I didn't have to go in the room when my son was born because it was an emergency C-section. So that's just, sometimes life just works out.
Damn, my first son was born and they had an emergency C-section and I was in that motherfucker. I saw.
Was you?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, no, they snatched
Courtney, he's lying to you. He didn't.
Dude, they snatched my wife out of that room and ran her to an OR, and like 2 seconds later, this super gay anesthesiologist comes walking out like a runway.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting over there like a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
And he stops and he looks at me and he's like, Dad? And I was like, yeah. She's like, baby's out, it's fine. And just keeps walking. And I was like,
That's who I want to know, to tell me though.
What?
That's like fucking cut and dry. Baby's good. All right, fuck
yeah, it was
dude.
one of those things where you're like, I'm really nervous, but that was funny.
Hell yeah. Nah, man. So I guess my first kids wasn't as much of a. He was coming out with his arm trying to do so, and I think our first guy, what's it called, gynecologist, pussy doctor.
That's right.
I think that's the technical term. He was first like a military guy, so he's quick to cut. Turns out, anyways.
Fucking trauma surgeon.
So he was just like, we're just gonna, yeah. So he was like, we're just gonna cut it out anyways, and like be easier. So it really was like emergency, but it was called one. But
yeah, so
I saw that motherfucker splayed out.
No,
fucking organs
ours
and
was
shit.
like, he's losing oxygen, get him the fuck out.
Oh yeah,
Like it was.
Both of ours were in the NICU for at least a week. That shit sucks.
Mine was in there for 2 weeks. It was brutal.
It sucks. But also, did you have the biggest one in there? The biggest baby?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, my baby was big as fuck. All the NICU doctors were like, hell yeah, we love
Dude,
having one of these things.
There was a baby in there you could have put in a sandwich bag.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That shit is terrifying.
Oh yeah.
And I smoke weed regularly, so I would get a little high and then go in there and like, this is too much. I shouldn't have done this.
There's no way I could have smoked weed and went in there. It was brutal.
I stopped smoking weed for a little while after the first time I did that.
Because dude, going in there sober, you're
it
like
feels
you
like you're
leave
on
out of there.
mushrooms.
Like I remember one time my mom went in there because you can only go like 2 at a time or 1 at a time,
Yeah.
like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So like I had to stay out and let my mom go in there, and like her and my wife comes in there. My mom comes back out like crying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And she's like, nothing. It's just
terrifying.
sad. And I was like, oh God.
Yeah, dude. Oh man, there was one baby. I don't want to put anybody on blast, but I guess if we don't know who they're talking about, motherfucker had been in there for a few months, but I only saw we were in there for 2 weeks and I only saw the fucking parent come and visit it like once.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah, I'm like, what
You
the
never
fuck?
know,
But
though,
then
dude. Maybe they were just literally having to work their ass off just
they
to.
probably were, and maybe it wasn't good for the mom too. You never
Yeah.
know. But I mean, they were all in there. Supposedly, like, I don't know, but the whole group came in, and we were in there every fuck. I don't know, who knows? But it was still like, man, fuck that motherfucker. You guys suck. It's like, I'm taking
Dude,
this
but
one
then
home with
every
me.
now and then you'll see something like I remember seeing one baby and it would look like pretty healthy or whatever, and I was like, talking to one of the nurses, I was like, this baby over here's cute. She's like, yeah, he's 9 months old. I was like, holy shit. I was like, this baby must have been born like an egg. Like,
Shit. Yeah, there was some in there that are fucking like a naked mole rat. It's just like in there, and it's shoulders, and it's crazy. I'm glad mine was just big. He was just a little low. He was in a little square.
dude, mine had to be like frozen. Like they had to freeze it. Like they called him a popsicle.
Yours?
It was something to do with like it stops the lack of oxygen from your brain that he was having, or they thought he had because
Did he have the
low
little
pH.
shutter breathing, like the
No
kind of shit? Okay,
no.
my
So
second one had that.
it's called like hypothermia treatment or something. It's to stop, like if you're getting any kind of brain swelling or anything, it's to stop it. To stop any further.
So your son would have been way smarter if he was
Probably.
Yeah, damn.
And he's super smart now, so it's just like, what could have been?
That's the fucking government holding you back, dude. That's the government is like, he's gonna be too smart, and he's gonna see through all this shit.
Graduate Harvard at 10.
Dude. He's gonna fix politics in a way that we can't fucking fix it. You know what I'm saying?
Slow it down.
Slow it down.
Slow it down.
Have you seen remember Jimmy Neutron when Sheen had the giant head
Dude,
and he floated around?
I remember Jimmy Neutron, but I never like watched it.
Yeah, I forgot you're lame.
Exactly.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Exactly. I don't know. Jimmy Neutron wasn't my jam. Like I loved like
He was my
Rocko's Modern Life and Rocket Power and all that shit.
Yeah, you were a little older than I was, so that's probably why. Jimmy Neutron was only 2 than I was.
Yeah,
than
see,
I
by the
am.
time Jimmy Neutron came out, I was like, a fucking cartoon. Like,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And it was only like 2 seasons. It seems like for me it was,
Really?
Or like
I
3.
didn't know. If you hadn't told me that, I'd have said that show ran for 10 years.
It's exactly. I thought it was like as long as Fairly Odd Parents, because Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, no, I used to watch that. Used to love Fairly Odd Parents.
I watched it recently. Shit is amazing. The joke writing in that shit is
Dude, I tell you, that's the thing about being older and going to watch like your favorite shows or whatever.
Yeah.
Like some of them you'll be like, dude, this was dog shit. Or sometimes you'll be like, this show's better than I thought it was.
It got a little stale, Fairly Odd Parents, because I started watching it like a lot whenever I first went back with my son. It did get a little stale because it's the same kind of premise and the same kind of joke structure for a lot of the things. But
Right. Well, I mean, that's the same with like a lot of things. Like Family Guy's jokes will always be like those flashback type jokes.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But I do love Family Guy.
I like Family Guy too.
I do.
I still go back and watch it.
That show,
I'll watch the new episodes when they come out. I don't give a shit.
I wouldn't, dude. I haven't watched Family Guy in years, and I don't know why, because I do love it.
Yeah. I watch like any kind of adult animation like that. I watch. I don't know what it is.
Did you like Robot Chicken?
No.
Oh my god, I love that show. I love Robot Chicken so much.
I don't know why. I never just got into it. I think it was just, I don't know. Some of those Adult Swim shows missed me, like fucking like Tim and Eric and stuff. Just kind of, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I never watched that.
It just kind of missed me. It's just
I
like,
saw bits and pieces of it, but I never thought it was funny.
it's just like supposed to be so wild. I feel like is most of it, and I'm just like it overstimulates me. I'm just like,
Dude, so Robot Chicken, I didn't watch it for years.
Yeah.
Because I was literally like, I don't want to watch a show about a fucking robotic chicken.
Yeah.
I don't. And then I watched it and I was like, so this is like a claymation sketch comedy
Yeah.
show? And it hooked me.
Robot Chicken feels like it's made for those kids, like super ADHD with the fucking Kool-Aid lip, like the fucking like real dirty kid. There's just too much going on. It's like,
That
watch.
wasn't me, but I loved it. I loved that show. And my favorite part about the shows wasn't the long bits. It was when it cut to like a little 5-second bit of like E.T.'s mom and being like, he said he'd phone home.
See, I
like,
thought it was just all that. It was like super.
Well, some of the bits were long, and I'd be like, this is getting out of hand.
I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a good, it was one of those things where I was like, I wonder what Breckin Meyer's doing with his life. And I was like, oh, he's doing this. Okay. Gotcha.
Who's Breckin Meyer?
The guy from Road Trip. Like the character from
I don't
Road
think
Trip.
I ever watched Road Trip.
Oh my, did you? Is it because, like, I guess I am older than you, I forget. But like,
No, I mean, I watched plenty of shit like that. I mean, my friends watched it. It had tits in it, yeah?
oh yeah.
Okay, well, yeah.
One of the,
maybe
like that and Varsity Blues is one of the first movies where I was like, holy shit.
I don't think I watched either one of those.
Dude, what are you doing to me?
I don't watch movies. I haven't seen Jaws. I haven't seen Jurassic Park. I don't watch movies, man.
I would suggest Jaws way over Jurassic Park.
Yeah. My wife keeps trying to get me to watch Jurassic Park. I think maybe we did watch Jurassic Park and it just didn't move me.
I was about to say, Jurassic Park is one of those things you were too old for that to be the first time you watched it.
Yeah.
I watched Jurassic Park as a child and was like, if this ever happens, guys, it's going to be one of the greatest things ever.
What? Fucking monsters coming and eating? See, I didn't know.
See, I thought in my head, I was like, if we do this, we'll do it so much better than this movie.
I didn't know until a couple weeks ago that motherfuckers were eating motherfuckers. Like, I didn't know the dinosaurs were eating the guys. I thought it was just like hey, it's a dinosaur park. Like, shit's going weird. We got to make sure we keep them. I thought they were just running around. I didn't know that there was actually like a terror thing. Also, fuck scary shit, man. I don't like.
Steven Spielberg is not going to make a movie where the dinosaurs don't eat people.
I didn't even know that was Steven Spielberg.
Oh, yeah. And dude,
okay.
I watched a documentary about this. So, like, Steven Spielberg was literally like, all right, if I do this, I want this to blah, blah, blah. And they'd show him like stop motion, like, things for the dinosaurs. He's like, no, this is dog shit. He's like, I want to build a 60-foot T-Rex. So they built him one. That T-Rex is like animatronic. Like
I was going to say, he's like, what Steven Spielberg was, he was like, I want this motherfucker to look animatronic as hell and nothing else.
That's the dude. And so, and then like the scenes where they are running, it was kind of like the birth of like good CGI. And they're like telling Steven Spielberg, they're like, we don't really like how you leave the camera still. And they're like, is there any way you can like move the camera around? That way we can make them like, you won't be focused on how weird they look. He's like, so you're telling me I can move the camera around and you can give me the dinosaurs? They're like, yeah, please. And he's like, fucking hell yeah.
So he was into that idea?
Oh, yeah. Like,
He wanted to move it around?
he didn't like
move it
the
around?
stationary camera. They're like, is there any way you can like mount this on a Jeep and like run with it and we can put the dinosaurs in? And he's like, fuck yeah.
Was he already doing that before? Or did
No, so like originally they were going to give him some CGI that he would just have a stationary camera, like a stampede scene or something, and they'd put all these dinosaurs in. Well, he didn't like how they looked, like because people would look at their feet and their feet didn't really look like they were running on the ground and shit like that.
Yeah.
So they're like, why don't you just, if you could move the camera somehow in this scene and we could put all the dinosaurs in, it would be better.
So was he doing that kind of shaky cam stuff before Jurassic Park, or this was the first time?
For CGI, was the first time.
Okay.
I watched a full
For CGI,
documentary on
okay.
this fucking thing.
Oh, really?
Where they're literally like, Steven Spielberg is kind of the reason why CGI got good.
Okay, everybody uses that shit. Entourage used that shit.
Exactly.
Like fucking. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Because I mean, I like that. It makes you feel more in it. You're more immersed.
Completely agree.
Yeah. Because I mean, in real life, you're not fucking aesthetic. You're not on a gyroscopic motherfucker.
Exactly. That's why even when I try to use, like if I have to use a tripod for something, unless it's one of those videos where it's supposed to look like a tripod, like making fun of an influencer or something.
Right. Yeah.
I try to add like a shaky cam effect to it.
Yeah.
Because it just looks better.
It does look better. Unless it's like, sometimes I had a friend who made a music video for another friend, and this was years ago, but he used so much shaky cam in it that it was kind of like, I don't know what happened. Like,
I want it to be subtle, where it just looks like somebody's kind of holding the camera.
Right?
You know?
Yeah. It's like home movies. You want like a home movie, but like also trying to keep it still, not trying to fucking.
Like fucking, dude, my buddy, God bless him, dude. We were fucking filming a bunch of shit, and we filmed all day. And we got back inside, and I look at it, and I was like, "Is this Michael J. Fox holding this camera?" Like the whole time, he's literally sitting there filming me just doing this, and I'm like, "What in the hell?"
When I used to draw in school, I would like hold my arm real tight for bushes and trees and stuff and making leaves. You like flex your arm and just go like that to make the trees. So I feel like maybe that's what was going on with the.
Can you draw?
Fuck no.
ASMR.
Next question. I mean, like, I feel like there's something there, but also there's not something there, if that makes sense. And it's like not something that I'm like super pumped about.
Yeah,
so
but I think drawing's one of those things like you just can or cannot.
Yeah.
You can and get better, but if you can't, you're never going to be good.
I can draw kind of like it looks like what it's supposed to look like. You know what I mean?
I can do that. I mean, nobody'd be like, "Is that a skateboard?"
I mean, I'm not saying my shit's not like incredibly artistic and like this.
Nobody's going to look at it and be like, "Wow."
Yeah, it's not going to bring you anywhere.
I don't know, but I feel like I also do that when I go to art galleries. Like, I don't go to art galleries. Let's not lie. But like,
yeah, dude, when I went to TJ Maxx and looked at the pictures in the fucking frame.
But if I go to somebody's house who's like really into art, like my grandpa was super into art on my mom's side, and we'd go to his house like once a year, and I just walk around and I'd be like, I just don't get it.
That's art right there.
Right, now that guy painted that.
Oh, he did?
That's a painting.
Damn. I was just talking about your face.
Oh yeah, well that's
for the listener viewer.
The one that my wife, I'll put a little thing up on the screen of these.
Put it right here.
Put it right there. the guy, you just send like a picture in, and they pick an artist. Like, I think Jerry would be good at this one, and they just paint it, and then they send it to you. Like, do you like it? And you're like, yeah, and then they just send it.
Did you pay for it?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if you like wanted to. He kind of made you look like a douche a little bit.
I probably was at that point in my life.
Oh yeah, all right, I can see that.
But my wife's, hers is perfect. Like it looks just like her.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just maybe you look nicer with the thing. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but you just look very sure of yourself.
I'm telling you, I probably was at that point in time.
All right, fair enough. I guess it's good to be sure of yourself. I'm not saying that, but
I get it. No, I look.
You look like you want to be somebody's ass a little bit.
Douchey there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah. What do you got going on?
In reality, I was only closing my eye because he pressed his face up against
I get that, yeah, for sure.
But I get what you're saying.
Your son looks very nice.
Agreeing with you. It's like, it's one of those things. It's like back then I could either be good looking or funny, and I think I chose good looking.
Stupid decision.
Exactly. Look at me now. I found the way.
Yeah.
And now my wife wants me to get back in shape. I'm like, baby, I don't, will the video still be funny?
She wants you to? You're doing this for her?
Will the video still be funny?
I've thought about that. Like, also, quitting drinking and stuff. So I'm scared that I'm going to be like, I think people kind of know me. Sometimes there'd be some Zeke nights where shit goes a little wild. And now I just feel boring. I'm just like a guy that turns down beer.
The other night when you called me, and you had some drinks, I was like, after 30 minutes, I was like, I think I've lost him. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I was just going on a circle of. So that was one of the last. So I would already I don't drink that often, but when I do, and if I'm like planning on drinking, it goes crazy.
Sure.
So now I've cut it out completely. So I think I've only drank twice in the past couple months, and that was one of the nights, and I lived with regret from that.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. I wish I would have recorded it because it was just a long circle.
Yeah.
And you'd get back, and I'd be like, is he going to start over? And you would. And I'd be like, all right. You'd be like, whatever you want to do. Look, however far you want to go, you can go.
Moving back. I wish I could find this old laptop. I was moving back from DC. I ate a bunch of acid and moved back, and like took a train from DC to New Orleans, and I started writing, and it was basically that where you just go in a circle. I was like, getting to such a nice point, and then I even called it out. I was like, it's like I keep almost getting down the toilet, and I just come right back up. But it was such like a long, like you could tell. I was like. I was tripping so hard. I went outside to smoke a cigarette. Like they take a break when you're on the train for over 12 hours.
Sure.
And some lady came up to me who's crazy as fuck. Anybody that's awake on the train at 2 o'clock in the morning is fucking insane. So this lady comes up to me and she was like, "You look like you're going to be on Nickelodeon." I'm like, hell yeah. But I'm also like, I thought about it for months after that. I'm like, that's crazy that she knows. Like, does she know I'm trying to be a comedian? Is like, I thought she was like some sort of oracle that was just on the train.
No, she worked for Dan Schneider. She was recruiting.
She was trying to fuck, yeah.
She was trying to see how far you'd go to be on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, no, she did.
You really missed out on that one.
I did. I should have. Me and Dan Schneider could have made something. I could have been the face of it.
Dude, there's something about, like, I watched the thing the other day about the Backstreet Boys and all those people.
I haven't watched that yet, but I've heard.
Pretty much, it's like you're watching the Nickelodeon thing again with like another fat guy.
I mean, shit, man. I don't know. Like, how bad do you want to get famous? I don't want to get famous. I want to quit working 6 jobs. I just want to work one good one. You know what I mean?
It is nice.
I want to move somewhere. No, I don't want to move somewhere. I have a job, and one of my jobs is in entertainment, but I have to drive an hour and a half one way to go do it. There's no entertainment job around here. It's ridiculous. So I got to try and do shit like make music and do comedy and shit from here and not go on the road because I got too many kids for that.
Yeah.
I can't go on the road for right now.
I'm telling you, man, going on the road is rough.
It is rough. I used to do a lot for it.
I try to just do like a 1-day turnaround. Like that's what I prefer.
Yeah.
Unless like the wife can go or something.
Yeah.
I prefer to do like I'll go do a show, stay that night, come back the next day, morning, whatever. I feel like I'm not missed that much when it's just a day.
When my kids are a little bit older, and I can kind of explain. But also, my wife is supportive, and she works remotely, and she's even like, even when I was younger, and she was like, "Fucking go do it, pussy." Like, but she's also like, "We can just get a camper. I'll work on the road. Like, I can work from anywhere." And I'm like, that's kind of crazy. But my kids in school would have to do it during the summer.
That's full support, though, dude.
Yeah, it is.
I remember like if y'all ever do see me in stand up and you enjoy it, you owe that to this guy because it's true. It's true. I don't even know. I'm sure you know that. But like we had a mutual friend and I put up something about, I don't even remember if it was about stand up. It was just something. And a mutual friend of ours tagged you and was like, "Hey, does anybody know anything?" And you were like, "Yeah, we got an open mic on." And that was the first place I ever went and did stand up.
I think she had shared one of your videos.
Right.
And she was like, "This is my friend from high school. He lives here. I'm proud of him." And I was like, "Tell him to come out to an open mic." And then she tagged you in it or something.
That's exactly
like,
right. And I reached out to you and was like, "Where's this open mic?"
Yeah.
And like, luckily, I didn't crush or anything, but luckily I got laughs the first time I did.
Yeah.
And that was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah,
I guess I'm fully addicted.
It's the first few years is like that. It feels like a fucking rush, man. It's it's still a rush actually performing, but outside of it, it's not as I don't know. I really don't want to speak on it too much because I mean people are different. But right now I'm so fucking busy all the time that it's hard for me to chase unless I'm getting paid well enough for me to either go out of town or
Right.
I'm not like chomping at the bit to do shows, but I'm also been doing comedy for 12 years and I'm trying to be more business minded about it a little bit more so that I can eventually turn it into a job or turn something creatively into a job and not have to hit a bunch of open mics and waste my time and not be the best parent that I possibly can be. So
open mics suck.
Open mics, yeah, but I mean, they're definitely, you need them. You definitely need them for getting your bits to. I mean, getting your.
But I don't think you do, in my opinion.
Yeah,
everybody can disagree, but I think we need them here because we don't have anything else.
Yeah,
but I think in a normal spot where.
Well, somebody like you doesn't need one, but it's a place like, because you've already kind of been discovered, for lack of better terms, but people do. It's kind of a little bit. There's some motherfuckers that'll come out to one open mic, never heard from them, they just bombed, and then they're like, "So when do I start getting paid?" And it's like, "Nah, dude, you got to fucking work."
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's what. But see, I don't think that's an open mic issue. I think it's that guy's issue.
Yeah.
Like, if you came to an open mic and we had a good, like, I'm not saying we have a terrible scene. I'm just saying, like, if we had a bigger scene down here,
yeah,
and you started coming to open mics and you did well, after however many times, you're not an open micer anymore.
Yeah.
You're consistently, like you could just show up somewhere and be like, "Hey, man, I want to do 10 tonight." And they'd be like, "Okay, great. Get up there."
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's tough because you really have to see enough of somebody and watch somebody prove themselves before you trust them to be on a show.
I agree.
So that's what the open mics are for. And working it out, I'll say one thing that I don't fucking like about open mic. I like going every once in a while if I've got something new. But it used to be I'd do the same open mic every week, and I wouldn't have very much new shit, and I'd just be saying the same jokes to the same people, and it's like, what?
And then it becomes stale to you.
Yeah, and then it did. It got to that point because I was running open mics for a long time, and I had to be there every week, and I had to do time up top to warm up the crowd or whatever. It's just like, dude, honestly, fuck this. It's the same people. It's the same place. It's the same thing. It just kind of gets to a point.
That's what I'm saying about Mobile in general. Like, if we had a huge scene where you had all these comedy clubs and you could go from one to one every night, and then there's always people that want to go to it, like in Austin or New York or LA, then you don't feel stale because at least some new people are seeing your same bit you did last night.
Yeah. It's fun, like, whenever you go on the road. That's really what it is you need new crowds. You have to have new crowds
to see if something's really going to work.
Right. Because, man, me and Carson did a little tour, and my friend Bill did a tour for about 3 weeks, and I haven't ever felt as fucking tight as I did then. Like, it's not like riding a bike. Like, it is.
I agree.
Is that the right way to say that? Yeah, it goes away.
Right.
It goes away. So, like, you have to. I was so tight, and my crowd work was fucking impeccable, and from one place to another, you could do a show or do a joke that was like, damn, that did well. And then the next night, it fucking feels like you're on some sort of drug and in like a chamber full of laughter. And it's like, okay, keep in this one. Like, this shit is crazy. Like,
exactly.
So it's so just do it. You need different crowds, which would be if we had like a comedy club situation where we had different people. Like, if we had different headliners that draw different crowds, instead of just trying to get the downtown regulars, you know what I mean? If we got people from, because we have a big enough area where we could do four or five.
I was about to say, it's not the lack of people being downtown. They're fucking everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, or even the surrounding area. We could get people to drive from out here for a show for fucking Southern Grandpa. If you bill it that way.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to bill it that way. And that's probably the right move. I'd say.
Is.
Yeah.
I have no regrets there.
Your confidence in that is like, oh yeah, it's the right move.
No, that's the right move.
That guy just answered that.
That is the right move. Getting up on stage and saying a few things as overalls is, you don't have bits, and then they just, I think they'll come. I just don't think they'll come back. Yeah.
No, that's not I was gonna say that's not a sustainable fucking way to do it. Yeah,
I agree.
Because if people will come to see a character and not who you are, and the art form is to be kind of. My shit's not really based in reality, but it's absurd. But it comes from what I generally like, genuinely like as a person, and it's not a character that's off to the side that has these rules. You know,
I agree.
Where Southern Grandpa has the rules that you have to fucking do.
I would
this,
have to have that voice. I would have to do.
We have to wear the fucking.
It's not
overalls.
like Southern Grandpa could get up there and be like, "So hand jobs." You know what I mean? Like,
you guys like getting your cock shut?
Exactly.
He probably could do that.
He probably could, but then they'd be like, the people that showed up would be like, I thought we were coming to something better than this. Like,
I guess it'd be kind of like Larry the Cable Guy a little bit is the only kind of one that does it, but also nobody knew that was a character, and everybody knows that Southern Grandpa is a character, so it would be kind of like a.
And so Larry the Cable Guy, in respect to him, he didn't have some social media persona, so like he started Larry the Cable Guy doing stand up.
Yeah,
so
he came from
he can do whatever he wants.
So as Larry the Cable Guy, right?
Yeah. He can do whatever he wants. Like all his bits. Now, he couldn't come out tomorrow and do a different guy. They'd be like, well, what are you doing?
He's like tries to change the things like Stephen Wright now. It's like real cerebral.
It's like when Garth Brooks was like, I'm a rocker now. Everybody's like, no, you're not.
No, shut the fuck up, Garth. Get back
Chris,
in the saloon.
whatever. What was his name? Chris Cole?
Yeah,
or whatever.
I can't remember. So I talked about that with somebody recently. Didn't he do a rap album too?
Oh God, I don't know. I know he went rock, and they were like, we're not listening to that.
Look, Garth, you're not listening to me. You can't do that shit. Go back in the
whatever
saloon.
I want.
I'm a grown man. It's like I don't give a fuck. It's like everybody was Backstreet Boys,
And you know they were showing
up.
up to those concerts like, play Friends in Low Places.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. And he probably hated that.
Exactly. Like, what was happening was, I guess the crowd at the end of it was like, no, he's gonna do one. What? Just wait.
So you think Garth was like, yeah, I bet they were just like, whatever, dude, he's not really gonna do that.
Then they left pissed.
Do you think he didn't like his country persona, or do you think he just wanted to try something new?
Try something new.
Yeah.
Probably burn out.
That fucking sucks though. Damn.
Well, I mean, he's doing country now again.
Well, I know, but it sucks that he tried the rock thing, and everybody. That's still a point of making fun of that motherfucker.
That's what happened to Stephen Blue's Clues too.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, didn't Stephen Blue's Clues quit because he didn't want to go bald on camera? Isn't that what he said?
Is that true?
Yeah.
I thought it was because he wanted to be a rocker.
No.
That's what I always heard.
No, it's because he said he did it in an interview.
He's
said
bald
that,
now.
Yeah, and he was balding during that show, and he didn't.
But I feel like Steve had one of those haircuts where he could have put on a wig and I'd have been like, yeah.
Progressively, it was like, yeah. Man, I don't fucking know any of that shit for real because I had heard that the original Barney got fired for keeping drugs in his costume.
It's one of those things, the Marilyn Manson 3 ribs, like all these things we all heard as kids. Dude, so I was talking about this the other day. You could probably turn it into a bit somehow, but like, you ever think about things like that and you're like, how did the entire United States hear the same thing? It's not that we had social media. It's like, did one kid from Connecticut tell a kid in Tennessee who went on a camping trip to Wyoming, and you're like, what the fuck? How did we all know the same thing?
We also knew it, and it wasn't like a game of telephone. We knew the same information. Like
right
it was
then.
Like, yeah.
It's like Daddy Longlegs being poisonous or whatever, but they couldn't buy it. Or this game.
Wait, I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking at it.
But exactly. This, guys, y'all know the fucking. How do we all know the same things? It's like there wasn't a Facebook page that told these things.
Are Granddaddy Longlegs not poisonous?
No, that's bullshit. It was bullshit.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it was one of those bullshit things where their mouth wasn't big enough to bite. It's all bullshit.
I think I taught my son that recently. I guess I told him. That sucks.
Well, keep it going. I like keeping it alive.
Yeah, everybody scratch
If
that
anybody
from
asked
memory.
me about Marilyn Manson, he definitely had ribs removed.
Yeah, 100%.
To suck his own dick.
Mussolini bit his weenie. Now it doesn't work. I think that was the. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, see, that's a new one.
Supposedly Mussolini could suck his own dick as well.
Oh, and he
but I
bit
think
it?
as everybody hated it. But then there was like,
As they
whistle while you
should've.
work. Hitler was a jerk. Mussolini bit his weenie. Now it doesn't work.
No, I remember the Batmobile lost its wheels and Robin A.
It was
Egg
around
and
the
all
same
that,
type of yeah.
Another example of like how the fuck did we all know it?
Yeah.
It's so wild and like I just don't get it. I don't get how everybody knew that at the same time.
It's like that fucking Family Guy, going back to Family Guy episode where they were trying to track where jokes come from. You remember that?
You think about all these jokes that you know that are all like, just like a knock joke or whatever the fuck it is, like some dirty joke your grandpa told. You're just like, somebody wrote that somewhere at some time.
See, and I've written some better jokes than those because I write jokey jokes. And I've written
this
some
guy
better jokes
does
than them.
really good like one-liner jokes.
Thank you.
You do.
Appreciate it.
I'm not going to tell your jokes, but I'll tell you what my favorite
dude, I
one
don't
is.
give a shit. Try and steal it.
No,
It's not
my favorite joke that you do is the best way to pick up women.
Really?
Oh, dude, I love it so much. I've heard it 100 times, and every time if you do it for the 101st 101st time,
Yeah, I think so.
I will laugh. I
Damn,
love
dude,
that
hell
joke.
yeah.
I'm not going to sell the punchline, so fuck y'all. Come see Zeke to
It's
see it.
pretty funny for me to see what jokes are people's favorites. Because
That's my favorite.
Because that's a throwaway joke for me that I use to get the energy back.
Dude.
No, I don't mean like I'm throwing it away.
Oh,
I mean,
you mean like a cheap shot?
I
like
throw it out there to get the
yeah.
energy up.
Oh,
yeah. Because it's such a surprise. It's such a short joke that's such a big surprise.
It is.
So, yeah. So there's some that I love that people don't like, but people always like to tell me their favorite joke, and they never line up. It's great. It's fucking like...
So what would you have thought my favorite joke of yours was?
Oh, man. People like the bug jokes. A lot of people like the bug jokes.
That's a good joke.
I don't really know, man. It's changed. Like I said, it's such a broad spectrum. Like I feel like
comedy's a broad spectrum in general. Like when I do my sets, I just knowing you, I'd be like, Zeke's not going to laugh at anything I do. And then you do, and I'm like,
I mean, fucking good jokes are good jokes, dude. Yeah, hell yeah.
I tell people that all the time. I was like, dude, I could watch like the Dusty Slays of the world, who are clean comedians who doesn't do any vulgar jokes.
Yeah.
All the way to the fucking Dave Chappelle's, the Bill Burrs, the people who push the line, the Tosh Point O's.
I'll say the one thing across the board that I don't enjoy is whenever somebody's trying too hard to be something. It's like, and that's the shit where I'm like, oh man, that's too.
I hate when what I hate the most is when somebody's trying way too hard to like be the guy who pushes the edges. I'm like, yeah, that's what I mean. That's where you want to ride those lines, but you have to have actual funny things. You know, you're just saying something for a shock factor, and I'm not with that.
I've had people. I won't say these words, but I've had people that they're like, I want to try comedy, man. Can I say first question is, can I say like the gay slur or the whatever slur? And I'm like,
in 15 years, you can.
Maybe. I'm like the first thing. Literally, anytime anybody asks it, I'm like, why? Like, why do you want to do that? Like, I say, be funny first, and if that comes out and if it's funny, then it is what it is. But if you're trying so hard to put it in,
right?
Like people can tell.
How can I say retarded?
Right?
You're
like, literally, that's I've had people ask me that. I'm like, why do you fucking care? I say retarded, but I mean, also,
I do too. But like,
I get that it makes some people uncomfortable, so I try not to. Like, if there's shit that makes people uncomfortable, I'm gonna try not to say it.
I don't even try. Like, it's not one of those things. It's not one of those things where I'm trying to be mean to anybody. That's just like it is in my vocabulary.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. But I mean, obviously, people can tell where it comes from. So really, that's where it is. But so like, whenever you're going out there and trying to do it, you're doing it for a purpose, and the purpose is to make people uncomfortable. And that's like, why do you want to do that? Like, some of these people might be your friends. Like, you got black friends, you got gay friends. Why do you want to make them uncomfortable? Like, what's your fucking deal? Yeah, so it's just whenever people ask that, and that's their whole thing, is like, you should not be doing comedy. Like, just be funny. Just whatever comes out.
You're wanting to get laughs.
Yeah. See what you can write. If the only thing that you can write is fucking saying that, then, I mean, who knows, man?
This guy got up there and he did 10 minutes and he said retard every joke.
Did
You're just like,
wait, are you telling the truth? Is that a thing?
No,
Okay,
I'm just saying,
what the fuck?
I'm just saying, like, okay, so that guy, that's all he wanted to do.
Before you start asking what words you can say, just try and write. That's like, I think that's probably a...
Dude, that's one of the first things I talked to Dusty Slay a pretty good bit. And like, and every other comic that I've talked to, the thing that they always tell me consistently is just try to write all the time.
Yeah.
Try to just write. And so I do. Anything that happens to me or I think of or I see a stupid commercial on TV, I'm always like, how can that be something? And a lot of the times what happens with me is, and I guess that's the problem that I hold is that a video or a bit? And sometimes I make them both.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like, I feel like some people haven't seen this and they'd laugh at it stand up, or sometimes it makes a better stand up bit, but it can still be a funny video.
Yeah. Man, it's so tough for me. Like, before I had kids, I would make a point to write every week, but like what I have to do for writing, whether it be music, whether it be for this TV show we're working on, whether it be for comedy, I have to sit down and write and just like let myself be known that I'm working and I'm clearing my brain to write. So that's what I need to do. And so I barely get around to doing that anymore because, like I said, I'm working fucking too many jobs.
Yeah.
Got kids that I'm dealing with. So I never have my writing style used to be depressed for 3 days. And on the fourth day, talk shit about yourself enough that you get up and just like, fuck you, Zeke. You fucking piece of shit. You haven't done anything in 3 days.
Self-deprecate yourself into writing.
So now I got to find a fucking healthy way to do that. So
mine's not healthy either. So most of my writing gets done like at night in bed when I should be sleeping.
Yeah. See, but I just am shopping for shit or watching TV at that time. I still don't go to bed early.
I don't go to bed early at all. I'll get in bed and I'll like watch whatever, turn off my phone and be like, I'm gonna go to bed. And literally I'll shut my eyes and be like, why did they make video games about people dying on the Oregon Trail? And you're just like, oh, yeah.
Nice. See, at that point, I can't. I'm usually a little bit stoned when I'm going to sleep, so I can't like convince myself to get up and find a pen. And
I'll think and think and think, and then once I decide like that premise is good enough, I will literally open my phone and be like, Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
That's the way I write.
I have to write full out jokes whenever I text them to myself, but then at some point I have to transfer them to a notebook because I like having notebooks. I like the pen and paper.
Yeah, you're a pen and paper guy.
Yeah,
everything of mine is notes in the notes app. But what I've started making myself do is I'll say Oregon Trail. So just using this for the same example, I'll write down Oregon Trail in the book. I mean, in the notes, and I'll be like, I'll remember what I was talking about.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll get up the next day. I was like, fucking Oregon Trail. What the hell was I talking about?
See, mine are normally based on a one-liner or like a pun or something.
Yeah. So you have to write the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have no choice.
Yeah, I got no choice. But it's also only 7 words. You normally say. It's like, yeah, man. Yeah. So I like to think in my brain, I'm trying so much shit. I'm trying the music thing. I wish we had done the first album a little bit differently. We're more focused on live music now, so hopefully we'll get that going. The TV show is going. And then comedy is such a thing that like turned into a business for me, so it made me hate it for a little bit. But now like going out and doing fun things is making it fun again. I think that everything will be satiated or fixed
in
by
the
time,
words
I'm
of
like,
Zeke Buckhaults, everything will just be what it'll be, man.
I mean, hopefully shit fixes itself, because I think if I get to a point where my job is entertainment, then I'll actually have time to fucking write instead of like all the time that I go to work. I can use that time to write, but you never. Probably still be going to therapy and shit, so we'll figure it out.
Well, I mean, therapy's not a bad thing, I don't guess.
No, it's not. I go like every 3 months. It's good. But recently, though, I've been feeling like I don't really need it. Oh, yeah.
I think that's where you get. I think that's because, my wife's same way. Like, the doctor starts telling her, like, or whoever, the therapist is like, yeah, I think you only need like once a month now.
Yeah.
And my wife's like, I think I don't need it at all.
Yeah.
And you're just like, yeah.
He's like, I mean, definitely, it's good for me to keep this guy that I found. I haven't liked any other therapists because, like, my parents thought I was weird back in the day. Not weird. I just had tendencies to not want to do certain shit that other people. I don't know, whatever. So I wanted somebody a little more gritty. So my parents would always send me to like these Christian guys, and they were like, "We have this one guy, this Christian counselor, and have some coffee with him." He said he's like a real gritty. He was a Marine, all this shit. And like the stuff that I want to talk about is like nights of doing cocaine until 5 o'clock in the morning and like smoking 2 packs of cigarettes and fucking screaming and being crazy. And this guy was like, yeah, man, I get it. I know you need somebody a little edgier. Like, man, one time in the 60s, I got drunk and I cussed at my wife. I'm like, bro, let's fucking, it's not going to work, dog. This ain't going to be it.
Come on.
But I finally found somebody cool, but he's booked up all the time. So that's why I still go like every 3 months. And
it's a good sign though that he's booked up all the time.
Yeah, definitely good. He's funny. I never wanted to go when I was in middle school and high school. I was taking ADHD medicine, and I never wanted to take medicine ever again. I wanted to be raw dogging it. I wanted to do no antidepressants, no ADHD medicine, nothing. And the dude finally was like, "Man, you talk to me about doing cocaine and mushrooms and all this shit, and you don't want to do." Something that's gonna make. I had like one time whenever I finally got on antidepressants, I was taking like a really small dose, and I was sitting. My wife was pregnant with our second, and we were just all laying in bed with my first son, and like the sun came through the light, and it was all golden and shiny and beautiful, and I was like, "Damn, this is great." And I told my therapist, like, "Yeah, dog, that's happiness." I'm like, I was like, "What?" I asked my wife. I was like, or not my wife. I asked my sister. I was like, to confirm. I was like, I explained what it was and everything, and she's like, "Yeah, I feel like." That like 2-3 times a week. I'm like, oh my God, dude.
What? You can do
this has been so hard. Yeah, my therapist was like, man, I'm surprised you're doing as well as you are. I'm like, I thought everybody hated everything all the time too, dude.
Yeah. Oh,
so medicine works.
It does, dude. I'm telling you. I've seen it happen to where like you see somebody that gets on it and you're just sitting there and you're like, dude, whatever you're doing, just please keep doing that.
Yeah. I'm still probably going to try some different ones, but I have definitely seen the, and now I'm taking 80, I'm taking like 4 pills a day now, dude.
Damn right. None of them are vitamins.
No, they're not. They're not. No. They make me short of breath. No, I'm just, so I don't take the ADHD medicines that are stimulants, because when I was a kid and I took those, man, I was so thirsty. I had to pee all the time. I was jittery. I fucking hated those stimulants, man. But then also, like, I would do cocaine.
You ever heard Shane Gillis talking about when he was going to therapy?
No.
He was talking about it on Schultz podcast, I'm pretty sure. And he's like, I fucking hated it. He's like, I had to stop. And they're like, well, why didn't you like it? He's like, dude, they just kept trying to get me to hate my dad.
Dude, I had one therapist that, Raquel, my wife, doesn't even know about this. And I was talking about how much I love my kids, like, so much. And she was like, you're not really talking about your wife very much. Like, do you love your wife? I was like, bitch, fuck off, dude. My kids are 2. It's beautiful. I love it. This is a gift from God. Yes, I love my wife. I wouldn't be. I'm trying to be better for her and the kids.
Exactly. Give me a break.
Bitch, shut the fuck up. She was divorced too, I found out. I was like, oh, you're just mad.
Oh, yeah, bitter.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just like, I know that they're therapists, but every now and then you're just like, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
So
like, they're not all perfect.
The guy that I go to now is always like a step ahead of me, which is rare for me with therapists. I would always try and be a step ahead of the therapist. Like one time, one of the therapists I had when I was in high school was a Christian counselor. I went in, I looked at his bookcase, and I opened it up, and it was like...
Fucking Goodwill Hunting over here.
It was therapy for dummies or some shit like that. So I just like opened it up and like made it known when he walked in that I was like doing some research. I was such an ass.
You were literally Will Hunting. Yeah. And he was Robin Williams.
So they would always tell, all my therapists would always be like, you're so well adjusted type of thing. And it's like, I told you what you wanted to hear, you motherfucker. Which is like when you're going to, which is also easy to do, really. And you should be 100% honest with your therapist when you're being.
I knew a guy that went to therapy and like got done, and like the people were like, I was like, therapy help? And he's like, I just lied to him about everything. I was like, so no.
No, it didn't.
I just lied to him about everything.
I don't know what has been working for. So I really didn't. I quit doing cocaine and drinking often for a while, but I was still smoking cigarettes. And I don't know if it's therapy. I've been like trying to meditate. I don't know what. I knew in my brain that like cocaine and alcohol wasn't an issue, but I was still smoking cigarettes. And I knew in my brain when it was time to quit, I had to quit all three, or else it wouldn't work. Like, because cigarettes made me want to drink. Sure. Drinking made me want to do cocaine.
Yeah.
So I quit smoking cigarettes, and then I went to drink, and I smoked a cigarette, let myself smoke a cigarette. And then a week later, I hadn't smoked a cigarette, but I knew I was going to drink at this show that was sold out, and I was like, I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to get drunk. Fuck it. So that night, I smoked a full pack of cigarettes, did some blow, and woke up the next morning and cried for 2 hours. So now I'm like, finally have cut out all three of them. So I feel fucking amazing at this point. And I don't know if it is the therapy or the mindfulness or just wanting to finally be better for myself. But like, it's cool, man. It's very boring taking care of yourself, but it makes me feel better. So that's good.
Let's end on that. That was good. I like that. Right. Wise words from Zeke Buckhaults. We got a show later.
Yeah, we do have a show later. Day.
But tell everybody what you got going on. Tell them about the band and everything else.
Yeah.
You ain't got to tell them anything about the show because we don't.
I was going to say something about that show. But
Go ahead and do whatever you want to do. I didn't know what you wanted to reveal, and Carson didn't want to say anything, so that's...
Oh, it's going to be fun. Are you talking about the
show that you're writing? Yeah, that y'all are doing.
Oh, that show?
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the show we have tonight.
Oh, yeah, no, they won't. They will be useless to say anything.
No, I know. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be in a garage.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's I think, so this place is actually pretty well known. So I think there's going to be a pretty sizable crowd. It's a lot of fun. The place is a fun. It's probably not your normal vibe, but it's
I'm going to go up there and just do my set.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, the show. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want people. We're not far enough ahead yet, and I don't know if it's going to get picked up. I don't know what, but we have a character for you, as you know, and we're still writing on Thursdays if you ever want to drop by. And I know you got a lot going on. But yeah, man, that's the TV show. I've always loved TV. I love TV. I'm good at writing dialogue. So I'm like, man, why not do all the things that I feel like I'm good at, and maybe something will fucking pop off. Maybe something will happen. So
I think it's going to be good.
I'm terrible at marketing myself though, which is...
Well, tell them about the band too.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's marketing. Shropshire Collective, SHROPSHIRE. We're on Instagram and Facebook.
I'll put your ads
TikTok.
in the description.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm Zeke, the Secret Garden on Instagram.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. That was fun.
Bye, guys.
Take it easy.